Hello, my name is Ed Daniels, and I'd like to welcome you all to Expanding E-Consent, Advanced Care Planning in the 21st Century. Our goal of this meeting is to better understand the current state of electronic informed consent and advanced care planning, and to define the obstacles to streamlining and automating the workflow of these processes. By the end of the meeting, we want to be able to identify specific ways we can work together collaboratively to make it easier for healthcare consumers and clinical personnel around the globe to access this information in a usable form wherever and whenever care is being provided. At this time, I'd like to recognize the sponsors of this event, BPM Plus, the Interoperability Institute, the Object Management Group, and Point of Care Partners. Without their efforts, this event would never have happened. I also want to acknowledge that our audience and speakers today are from around the world, not just from the United States. We have attendees from Germany, Canada, Norway, New Zealand, Australia, Austria, Finland, and I'm sure other countries that I haven't mentioned. But I'd like to welcome everyone for attending today and participating. Also, and Mike, if you can move down to the word cloud slides there. We have attendees from many different organizations. We have physicians, nurses, and clinical personnel. We have representatives of state and federal government agencies, including ONC, the VA, Department of Defense. Hospitals and other healthcare systems are represented. We have commercial healthcare insurers and representatives of Medicare and Medicaid. Mike, go ahead and move to the overview slide there. On a personal note, there are, I think, a lot of reasons why we've really had such a tremendous outpouring of response with over 300 attendees that have signed up. The worldwide pandemics forced us all to come to grips with our mortality. When the time comes, we all want our care to be done in accordance with our wishes. And me, I'm a retired volunteer firefighter and fire chief, and I have personal experience with the pain and confusion that can happen at the time of an unexpected medical event. So I know that everybody that's participating today wants to be a part of making that situation as easy and unburdened as possible. So for today's meeting, we're going to proceed from now through 5 p.m. Eastern time. There'll be a 2-hour lunch break, and that'll be a chance for you to meet your biological needs, but also your business needs. And other than that, the meeting is going to be jam-packed with content, so I expect everyone in the audience to be glued to your screen for the entire time. Throughout the meeting, our chat functions will be available, and so via your connection, you'll be able to ask questions of the speakers and organizers. You'll be able to make comments, and using the drop-down box, you'll be able to identify where those chat messages are pointed. Also, if you're using social media, you can, and I'll put this in the chat window, you can use hashtag expanding e-consent on your social media posts. I'll put that in the chat window. So now I'd like to introduce our first speaker, Dr. Tim Fletcher. He's the Executive Director of the Michigan Health Information Network Shared Services, and he's the Chief Executive Officer of one of our sponsors, the Interoperability Institute. And Dr. Fletcher is also an adjunct research investigator of learning health sciences at the University of Michigan Medical School. Tim presents regionally and nationally on topics like health, informatics, advanced analytics, etc. Tim has received a doctorate of health administration and a master's degree in health administration from Central Michigan University and a Bachelor of Science from the University of Michigan. And I know Tim personally. He's a tireless leader and an innovator, and it's my pleasure to now turn the podium over to Tim Fletcher. Tim.
Thanks, Ed, very much. And a big shout out to the Point of Care Partners team for keeping us so well organized and championing this. A couple things I really want to highlight here that 21st Century Cures Act has revolutionized and will continue to revolutionize consumer access to information. Folks are going to leverage modern technology to really empower patients to get their information. And it is a sea change from what we've seen in the past decade. But like Ed said, for COVID, we saw a lot of tough choices having to be made or not being made against people's preferred wishes, their preferences, their choices related to advanced care planning. In the same spirit, giving people one-way access to their information and creating an expectation that they will be able to make choices and their preferences and what they desire to have happen will be honored by the rest of the entire healthcare delivery system could really become a problem if we really give information to patients but haven't figured out a mechanism to take their desires and their preferences and their choices back and then to honor them throughout the system. And so we, in one sense, are doing a wonderful thing by empowering patients, but at the same time, we're raising expectations of what the rest of the system is going to be able to do once we get them the data and they say, great, now this is what I want. And this whole day is really organized around trying to understand e-consent, advanced care planning, and the range of mechanisms that we're really going to pull into the everyday workflow to say, how do we honor and respect patient choices for a wide array of things, whether it's how to use their data or what some of their end-of-life choices really are. So I'm super excited about the agenda. You know, we've got a lot of people who know way more than I do about the different scenarios, the very human aspect of what we're talking about. So with that, I really want to thank everybody. I think this is going to be a fantastic day. I hope to learn a lot. I think all of us will learn a lot. Please use the chat liberally, ask lots of questions, and learn and share, because this is the beginning of what I think will be a very important journey. It's sort of the next phase of what happens after we give consumers access. This is now, how do we really honor their choices and respect their desires? So stay tuned for what I think will be a fabulous afternoon.